Today, we're going to talk about the top 8 common mistakes that people are making in Lord of the Rings: Rise to War. Hello, my friends, and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming, and in this video, we're talking about Lord of the Rings: Rise to War, common mistakes, and these mistakes are so savage. I made this first one. When I learned that I was making this mistake, it's absolutely disgusting. Let's just talk about it. The first mistake is not realizing that the center of this stupid ring is a freaking ability that you can tap. You can put points into dominance. I didn't realize this. I don't know why I didn't realize this. I probably should have realized this. Everybody's giving all this advice. When you're full on tiles, delete your tiles. Never delete your tiles. That's like the dumbest thing I've ever heard, to be deleting tiles. I'm going to talk about why that is in a second. There are, of course, a few situations where you could maybe delete tiles, but no, don't do it. Here's why. Dominance, every point you put into it gives you 10 more territory limit. Hello, baby. This game is all about economy. If I have 5 words to describe what you should be doing in this game, it's economy, 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 economy. Okay, you have to have your economy going in order to wage war. That's so important, because if you don't have resources, you can't train troops. You can't train troops, you can't wage war. It's really very simple. So, dominance is the best place to put your ring points, bar none. Get them in there. Now, this is not a ring guide. One of those I will put together, but dominance. Now, why am I saying don't delete your tiles? Because I deleted like 30 plus tiles, man, to be getting higher level tiles, because I didn't realize. I was like, oh, I don't need these level 1s. Yeah, you do. You need your level 1s. Why do you need your level 1s? 200 resources per hour. That's why. Now, it doesn't sound like much, but to be getting 200 resources per hour is pretty good. I mean, and the thing is that a level 1 tile is not all that different from a level 2 tile in terms of the resource generation. So although you do get a very different amount of ring power, very different, 10x the ring power going from a level 1 right over here, 200 resources per hour, to a level 2, 10 freaking ring power per hour, but only 240 resources per hour, folks. That's only 40 resources per hour more. Man, if I could go back in time, I mean, I'd be number 1. No question. On $1 spent, I would be pushing number 1, and right now I'm 9. That's not far off, man. For $1, that's pretty freaking legit. So I'm just saying, all the advice to delete tiles is basically terrible. You should probably be going in and just doing dominance. And if you need to freaking reset your ring to get more points to put them back into dominance, do it, man. Do it. You need tiles. Economy, 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 economy. Okay, anyways. The mistake number 2 is not focusing on the chapter quests. Now, these chapter quests over here are absolutely crucial. Wondering what to do? Do the chapter quests. Why should you do the chapter quests? Not only is it basically appropriate for your progression, but when you do the chapter quests, you get a chapter reward that includes more land limit. Hello! Tiles, 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 economy. Yes, do this. Get this. This is crucial. Okay. Next mistake. Number 3. When you start the game for 24 hours, you're going to have some buffs that show up over here. It's less energy spent when you go and do stuff. It's less dead troops. I mean, it's god tier buffs at the start of the game. You should go absolutely insano for the first 24 hours. It will completely change your trajectory. Like, if you have to wait to start on a weekend, you start on a weekend and you go ham, and it is so worthwhile. 100%, you need to go ham for the first 24 hours. Otherwise, someone like me has, and like I'm way higher on the leaderboard. I mean, I'm about 3 days in now with 8,800 ring power per hour, and that's after deleting like 1,000 plus ring power per hour of tiles, which just like stick the dagger right in here, man. Oh my gosh. The next mistake, number 4, is not spending your stamina and your ability points. So because you should have a gazillion tiles, because you should have all your points going into dominance, and you just take over the map, just take all the freaking tiles, okay? Every one of your commanders, you should spend down their stamina. Take low-level tiles. I do not care. Have a large army where you take small losses, take much easier fights than pushing the bounds on those fights. Take very easy fights so you're not losing a ton of troops. In fact, you barely lose any troops at all. take a ton of tiles, get insano resource production, and with that, man, you got plenty that you can do. But you have to spend your stamina constantly. Spend it all down. Don't ever cap out on stamina. To that end, there are also these little red dots over here, ability points. I don't know what the red dot is supposed to represent in the Lord of the Rings lore. Can somebody tell me what that's supposed to be? I don't know what that's supposed to be, and I'm going to feel really silly when somebody says exactly what that's supposed to be. But the little red swirly ability points, you're going to want to spend those. They're premium. They're limited, and time restores them because they're so premium. So what should you be spending them on? I think that one of the better things is going to be gathering resources. And the reason I say that is that you shouldn't need to mock battle at the start. Why should you not need to mock battle? Unless you run yourself out of troops, you just fight low-level tiles and level up commanders. Like, that would be my recommendation. So use the resource gathering, I think, in the early game to, like, cover up for where you're low on resources. I'm still doing that right now, even though I'm improving my resource production pretty significantly. Mistake number 5 is running your commander home constantly to refresh your troops. Look, I've got this dude all the way out here. I don't have to push this little button to run him home, the little horsey. I don't have to run him home. I can just tap the little handshake, and I can just push this little button right over here. It ups the number of troops that you have in your march, and it sends them from your city. And they go very quickly. So the reinforce function, easy, it's very fast. It's like at least half the time, maybe even less than that, to get troops refreshed to your commander. The only thing that's a little weird that I just want to show you is that you got to keep in mind that the command points in the top over here is the number of, well, it dictates the number of troops you can have. And depending on what troop type you're bringing, they use more or less command points, or you get more or less troops per command point. Let me tell you what I mean. So for these tier 2 infantry dudes, dwarf dudes, whatever. So it's 100 troops for one command point. You can see my command points change like that, right? But if I have less than 100, which I do, I don't have more to bring, I have only 44 more, it still uses the full command point. So in an ideal world, you don't have these like partial units, right? You want like perfectly maxed out units. So for example, if I just wanted to top off this unit without using any more command points, I would just ever so slightly scroll this, and it's actually kind of hard to do if I can even pull it off. I just want like one little tick, which genuinely, I don't know why this is so hard to scroll. I don't know, man. I should be able to refresh only 39 if only it were able to allow me to scroll that way, but I have to do 139 in this case. But you can top off a unit without adding another command point worth of those troops, and maybe this is easier to do with the Ram Riders. So you can see I have 28 command points. I scroll this over, and okay, it's Goat Riders. Boom. 48, my command points didn't go up. You see that? Command points didn't go up at all, but I brought more troops there. Anyways, do this refresh option rather than running your march home every single time. This is way better. As soon as I conscript a few more troops, I'm going to send them up there, have full marches, go battle something, and you can stay out for longer and then run it home and then swap all your troops off that army, put them onto another commander, run back out, and spend all your freaking stamina again. Mistake number 6. And I made this mistake, and it's a little embarrassing, sort of, except I kind of wish that the game gave you a little more explanation of this, which is that I had completely mismatched talent points on my commander. What does that even mean? This particular commander, Dwalin, is a little weird. His ability points, one of them, is giving you bonus skill damage. Well, bonus skill damage? That sounds awesome. I want bonus skill damage, of course. Now, I went the route of maxing out these abilities for their bonus effect. So rather than just getting all these side skills, which I have now, but I didn't before, but rather than getting just these side skills, which seem really good, I went all in on just these 2 effects, Durin's Blood and Experienced Warrior. I max them out. I'm like, yeah, I got 2 skills to 30, baby, and I'm getting all these bonuses. But wait, this particular skill, or this particular talent, is boosting skill damage. But this commander doesn't do any skill damage unless you actually take some of the side abilities that say that they are skill over here. So I basically had 15 points into an ability that was doing nothing for me. What a disaster, man. Total disaster, man. So as soon as I figured that out, I did a reset, and it's like better now, but I still want to drop like a ton more points into these little side abilities. All that to say, just be very, very careful when you're putting your points in here. It's not always clear how things work, and like, I'm pretty sure my commander always does normal attacks, so that was a safe invest. But some of these other things that like boost your skill damage, for example, may not actually do anything unless you pick up some skill damage. And all of the effects that your commander does are just over here, man. This is where you'll find them, the current effects, all right? Now, it could be that he has skill damage, but I just found no evidence of that. The battle logs, I spent time in them, and there's not enough evidence for me to figure out, like, aha, he already had skill damage? Not that I could tell, man. So be very careful about mismatched talents. Mistake number 7, okay? Mistake number 7 is letting your building queue be empty. Okay, you tap this little button right over here. It's the best button in this entire screen. The little scroll with the hourglass, it's magical. It's magical. It tells you what all your queues are up to. Make sure that you are building stuff constantly. I haven't needed more than 2 of the building queues. I know you can unlock a 3rd. Theoretically, now that my resource production is through the roof because I realized I'm not bound by the number of freaking tiles I can have anymore. Maybe I do want that 3rd building queue, gosh bless, but I haven't needed it yet, to be honest. Like, I'm constantly spending down my resources, and I'm constantly running out of resources, with the exception of now that I've, like, increased my tile count by 30 this morning, which I know is maybe not quite 30, but pretty close. It's been a productive morning, okay? So don't let your building queues be empty. You should always be kind of doing something, and if you have a resource problem, you need more tiles. Even low-level tiles, folks. Get all tiles. The number 8 mistake, and I don't know what to do about this, man. I genuinely don't know what to do, is staying in a low-ranked fellowship or faction. And, like, if I just get a look here at my faction, all right? I go to the rankings, I look at my fellowship. We're 5th. Hey, 5th ain't bad for the fellowship, okay? It ain't bad. But the problem is that people are looking at this leaderboard and seeing that there's another faction with, like, nearly double the production. And so everybody's just switching to the other faction. So I'm very confused about the fairness and balance associated with this. Because, like, if everybody just jumps ship and goes to the other faction, how is this supposed to be a balanced fight, right? It's very confusing to me. Maybe there's something that I don't understand or don't know. But everybody's just jumping ship to the stronger faction. And then what's supposed to happen? So the other thing I'll point out is that your fellowship, you know, don't stay, when I say don't stay in a low-level fellowship, like, I don't understand why you'd stay in, like, one of these low-ranked fellowships when literally there's no blocker to joining our fellowship. We're 5th overall, and we got frickin' 10 spaces open. Like, if you look at For Glory, like, why are they not full? They are 61 out of 90. Why would they not be full? I don't understand. Maybe there's something I don't know. Maybe you can tell me. What, like, there's 65 out of 75. Why would anybody be in a low-ranking faction? Well, not faction, fellowship. Like, why would you stay? I don't know. All I'm saying is that the players around you can elevate your gameplay very, very substantially. And just to illustrate that, if I just zoom out and look at the map, man, I mean, like, these guys already have multiple territories. Right? And, like, if you don't get, like, the luck of the draw and have somebody from your faction, like, organizing, what happens, man? You're just wrecked. I don't know. I haven't figured this out yet. It seems like you need a lot of coordination. And I'm very tempted to just be like, hey, yo, here's the date, here's the time, we're all going to go play together on, like, a server. But then, like, you're just going to win and dominate everything. So, and then more people join your faction because you're winning. I'm just a little confused on the balance in the game right now. But the meta, unquestionably, is to join the strongest fellowship, certainly, and consider just switching to the strongest faction, because why not? Well, here's why. Because if you switch factions, you're going to lose all your tiles. I can't imagine freaking starting over with my tiles, bro. That sounds insane. Like, That sounds absolutely insane. So if you're early enough and you can figure it out, then it's worth doing. But otherwise, I think the cost is pretty steep. But it's obviously not so steep that people aren't doing it. Like, I have been hawking this leaderboard, and I'm just constantly watching the Night Elves, or I guess it's not the Night Elves, but this faction, what is this, Lothlorien, just grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. And it's like, all right. So at some point, this is a PvP game, and I'm hoping that's going to be a fair fight, but I don't know how that's supposed to work, man. If you enjoyed this video, throw a like on here. Consider subscribing to the channel for videos about Lord of the Rings Rise to War that help you get value and smash your enemies. I hope these tips were helpful. If you did get value, do me that favor of throwing a like and subscribing, and join my Discord server, discord.gg/Chisgule. Super freaking easy to remember, man. And until next time, you have fun smashing. What are you smashing here? Smashing your enemies. Smashing your enemies. That's a nice ending.